Imagine turning on your computer and being greeted by an interface that looks almost identical to macOS. The sleek dock at the bottom, the elegant top bar, smooth animations, polished icons, and a workflow that feels instantly familiar. Now imagine getting all of that without buying expensive Apple hardware. That's exactly what many Linux distributions are trying to achieve in 2025. Over the years, Linux has evolved from a system mainly used by developers into something visually stunning and extremely user-friendly. One of the most fascinating trends in the Linux world is the rise of distributions that recreate the macOS experience almost perfectly. From the dock behavior to the window animations, many Linux developers have carefully designed environments that mimic the aesthetic and usability of Apple's operating system, while still giving users the freedom and customization Linux is known for. For people switching from Mac to Linux, or for those who simply love the Mac OS design language but want a free open-source alternative, these distributions are incredibly appealing. Starting with one of the most talked about Mac OS-like Linux experiences, there is a distribution that many people instantly recognize because of how polished it looks right after installation. When users first boot into it, the layout immediately feels familiar. A centered dock sits at the bottom of the screen. Icons bounce when apps launch. The top panel contains system controls, and the overall design feels clean and modern. The developers behind this distro focused heavily on aesthetics, animations, and user experience. Everything from window transitions to icon design is built to give that premium desktop feeling. What makes this system especially interesting is that it doesn't just copy the look of macOS, but also recreates the workflow. Application launching, workspace switching, and multitasking all feel incredibly fluid. For people moving away from Apple hardware but still wanting the same style and usability, this distribution often becomes the first recommendation. Another Linux distribution gaining attention in 2025 focuses on creating a macOS-like environment through a highly customized desktop interface. Instead of building everything from scratch, it takes a powerful Linux desktop environment and transforms it into something that strongly resembles Apple's design philosophy. The dock is beautifully integrated. System menus are placed at the top, just like macOS, and the visual theme is designed with simplicity in mind. One of the reasons users love this system is that it balances beauty and performance extremely well. Even on older hardware, it runs smoothly while still maintaining elegant animations and polished visuals. For creators, developers, and everyday users, it offers a comfortable environment that feels both familiar and flexible. In recent years, another project has become a favorite among Linux enthusiasts who love the macOS aesthetic. This distribution focuses on delivering an experience that is minimal yet stylish. The desktop layout resembles macOS so closely that many people are surprised to learn they are actually using Linux. The developers have carefully chosen themes, icons, fonts, and layout elements that replicate Apple's visual identity. The dock behaves almost exactly like the macOS dock, with smooth animations and intuitive app management. What makes this system special is that it doesn't overload the user with unnecessary features. Instead, it focuses on simplicity and elegance, creating a desktop environment that feels refined and One of the most exciting aspects of Linux in 2025 is how customizable it has become. Some distributions are designed specifically to allow users to transform the interface into whatever they want, including a macOS-style layout. With the right configuration, users can install docks, global menus, icon packs, and window themes that replicate the Apple interface almost perfectly. These systems are extremely flexible and often favored by power users who want full control over their desktop environment. By combining different Linux customization tools, they can achieve an experience that looks incredibly close to macOS while still maintaining the power and freedom of Linux underneath. Another distribution worth mentioning has built its entire identity around simplicity and elegance. From the moment it boots up, the desktop feels clean and minimal. The dock sits neatly at the bottom, the panel across the top provides quick system access, and everything feels intuitive. The designers behind this project have clearly been inspired by Apple's attention to detail. Even small things like icon spacing, transparency effects, and window shadows are carefully tuned to create a premium visual experience. What makes this distribution stand out is that it doesn't just mimic macOS visually. It also focuses on creating a smooth and stable operating system that works reliably every day. As Linux continues to grow in popularity, developers are experimenting with new ways to bring macOS-like experiences to open-source systems. Some distributions are designed specifically for people transitioning from macOS who want something familiar but more customizable. These systems often include features such as global menus, dock magnification effects, and application launchers that behave similarly to Spotlight. Users can search for apps instantly, manage windows efficiently, and enjoy a workflow that feels almost identical to Apple's ecosystem. At the same time, they gain access to the powerful Linux software ecosystem and the freedom to customize every part of their system. Another interesting Linux distribution that feels remarkably similar to macOS focuses heavily on visual consistency. Every part of the interface is designed to work together seamlessly. The icons match the theme, the dock animations are smooth, and the overall desktop layout feels balanced. Many users describe it as one of the most beautiful Linux systems available. In 2025, this project continues to attract attention because it proves that Linux can compete with commercial operating systems in terms of design and usability. For people who appreciate clean design and elegant workflows, this distribution offers a compelling alternative. There are also Linux distributions that prioritize performance while still delivering a macOS-like appearance. These systems are perfect for users who want the beauty of Apple's to interface but need something lightweight enough to run on modest hardware. By combining efficient desktop environments with carefully designed themes and docks, these distributions manage to provide both speed and style. Even on older laptops, the system feels responsive while maintaining the elegant look many users associate with macOS. Some projects go even further by recreating specific macOS behaviors. For example, certain distributions include a global menu system similar to the one found on Mac computers, where application menus appear in the top panel rather than inside individual windows. This design choice helps create a more authentic macOS-like workflow. Other features include dock magnification effects, window tiling behaviors similar to macOS gestures, and keyboard shortcuts designed to mimic Apple's system navigation. The growing interest in macOS-style Linux distributions reflects a broader trend in the open-source community. Users want operating systems that are not only powerful, but also visually appealing and easy to use. For many years, Linux was known primarily for its flexibility and performance, but modern distributions prove that it can also deliver beautiful user experiences. Developers have realized that design matters just as much as functionality, and they are putting tremendous effort into creating desktops that look and feel polished. In 2025, the competition among Linux distributions to provide the best macOS-like experience has become more intense than ever. Each project tries to improve animations, refine the dock behavior, and create smoother interactions. Some systems focus on replicating macOS almost exactly, while others simply take inspiration from Apple's design language and combine it with unique Linux features. This diversity means users can choose the system that best fits their needs, whether they want a near-perfect Mac OS clone or a Linux desktop with a similar aesthetic but more customization options. One of the biggest advantages of using a Mac OS-style Linux distribution is the cost. Apple computers are known for their premium pricing, which can make them inaccessible for many users. Linux offers a way to achieve a similar visual and functional experience without purchasing expensive hardware. By installing one of these distributions on a standard PC or laptop, users can enjoy a beautiful desktop environment that feels just as modern and polished. Another major advantage is freedom. While macOS is tightly controlled by Apple, Linux gives users complete control over their system. They can change themes, install different docks, modify system behavior, and customize nearly every element of the interface. This flexibility means that even if a distribution starts with a Mac OS-like design, users can adapt it to suit their personal preferences. For developers and creators, these Linux systems provide powerful tools while maintaining an elegant workspace. Many people who switch from macOS to Linux worry about losing the polished environment they are used to. However, modern Linux distributions prove that open-source software can deliver both functionality and beauty. With the right configuration, the desktop experience can feel incredibly refined. Another reason these distributions are becoming popular is the growing interest in privacy and control over personal data. Linux systems are open source, which means the community can inspect the code and ensure transparency. For users who want a macOS-like experience but prefer open-source software, These distributions provide the perfect balance between aesthetics and freedom. What makes the Linux ecosystem truly exciting is how quickly it evolves. New themes, dock applications, icon packs, and desktop enhancements appear constantly. This means the macOS-like experience on Linux keeps improving year after year. Animations become smoother, integration becomes tighter, and the overall user experience continues to evolve. As we move further into 2025, the line between traditional Linux desktops and commercial operating systems continues to blur. The visual quality of Linux environments has reached a level that surprises even long-time users. What once required hours of customization can now be achieved instantly through carefully designed distributions for people who love the macOS aesthetic but want the power and flexibility of Linux. These systems represent the best of both worlds. They show how open-source communities can take inspiration from great design while building something unique and innovative. The future of Linux desktop environments looks incredibly promising. Developers are experimenting with new animation systems, improved window management, and even more refined user interfaces. As these innovations continue, macOS-style Linux distributions will likely become even more polished and accessible. In the end, what makes these Linux distributions so fascinating is not just how closely they resemble macOS, but how they combine that familiar design with the limitless possibilities of open-source software. Whether someone is switching from Apple hardware, exploring Linux for the first time, or simply looking for a beautiful and efficient desktop environment, these systems offer an experience that is both visually stunning and incredibly powerful. And as Linux continues to evolve, the macOS-inspired desktops of today may become the foundation for even more innovative and elegant operating systems in the future.